After giving some second thoughts about my original recording and spending a little bit more time thinking about it, I want to talk about the new Gundam show that came out from Netflix. Gundam Requiem of Vengeance. Now, I probably said that very wrong. 100% believe that I said that very wrong. But I want to talk a little bit about it. This isn't really a review, but just some of my own opinion and thoughts. And I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the animation, right? It's completely in 3D. This isn't the first Gundam to be in 3D. I would say that it doesn't look bad. It's pretty janky. They could have done a lot better. Um, the jokes is that it's like has a PS2, PS3 graphics, and I honestly, yeah, it kind of does. It really does in some scenes, especially when they want to be emotional. I feel like they didn't do a good job in capturing that the actual facial emotions, and most of the did with the actual mech fight were that were pretty good, right? The mech fights were pretty good. I really enjoyed the Gundam and the Zaku 2 fighting it out, especially the sound. Honestly, the sound alone is worth listening to, right? And because of that, you know, this probably may end up being a guilty pleasure of mine. I have a feeling that this is gonna be like a guilty pleasure type of show where I don't think it's really that good, but I just go back because it just catches my interest. Even though I think that the animation is not the best, in some scenes it's really noticeable that they reuse a lot of their assets. The voice acting is not the best. The main character, her voice acting is pretty good. She has a bit of a backstory that's a bit, you know, felt, but that's really it. Um, and the other voice actors are not that good. I mean, it sounds weird. I don't really care if an anime cursed too much, but I felt that it was just kind of off. It's just like it was forced rather than being like organic. Right? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like sometimes cursing just feels forced, and these voice actors didn't know how to just do it naturally. And I guess it's also as I get into the complaint of the voice acting. Maybe I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it in Japanese sub. Maybe do some comparison, but I just think that it wasn't a bad, and they should have hired actual voice actors, especially one of the character who is she has pink hair and a nose ring. The woke character, I guess. She's really. I'll get into that a little bit, but her voice was just annoying. I filtered it out. I just couldn't stand it. The others were not that bad, but they could have done a lot better. They could have gone in professional voice actor, but they didn't, and that's a shame for a Gundam show. Bandai could have done it, done that for Gundam, but they didn't. I think because of that, in some scenes where it should have been more impactful, wasn't that impactful. And you know, let's talk about the mech design. I really enjoyed the Zaku 2 quite a bit actually. I kind of liked it, and I also really enjoyed looking at the Golf design, how they fought, and the classing of the metal and the beam saber and the GM. Even though I think like if you look at the original GM Gunpluff and how the GM originally looked like, I'm not a big fan of it. But the GM in this, in this show was pretty good. I really like it. I don't know, and I also like to say that I enjoy the a lot of the oh god, sorry, I'm a little brain tired, brain dead. Wow, wow. I would also say that character designs could be better. Wasn't that bad, but again, janky. Um, the music was pretty good. I like it. It fit the tone of the show. What I also should get into. The show is very much reminds me of the MSO team and a bunch of other Gundam shows where obviously war is bad. The Federation and Xeon kind of have good people and bad people on both sides, and in the end, they're just trying to do their job. I would also say that the show also shows the weakness of the Federation, how the Federation is relying on child soldiers to operate their machines, and they show it. And it's kind of a center point of the show itself, especially towards the ending, where one of the characters get a little spoiler. But if you have already watched the original Gundam, then you know where it is going. Where Zeon loses and the Federation wins, and a lot of Zeon remnant are on Earth, right? It still does that towards the end. Was cool decision, but it's like the whole child thing was a little more. I wish they really went into that more, right? This show felt kind of like it was cut. A lot of things they wanted to do was pretty cut. Um, Maybe it's because of budget constraint or maybe because of backlash, and I don't blame him. And then I guess we'll get into it now. The whole wokeness behind the show, it really isn't woke. It really isn't. The whole haircut thing, yeah, it's a bit of nitpicking and ridiculousness. Um, I'm anti woke. I'll just say it as it is. But even I was just like, okay, guys, it's not that bad. But the girl with the pink hair and nose ring, yeah, that's a little like ridiculous. I'm like, I don't really care about hair color in anime because Gundam has weird hair colors in the show, especially in the later timelines. So that's a weird nitpick, but the nose ring was a little off. The whole tattoo thing, I think people were gonna point out like that's pretty common because in Thunderbolt we saw tattoos and how those are a symbol of surviving their operations and their missions. But honestly, if she wasn't in the show, I think it would have been a lot better, and they could have just used the time they did for her and focus on other character. Honestly, I would have been perfectly fine if she wasn't in the show. Like just straight up perfectly fine if she was not in the show. Um, and the story is pretty decent. It's not bad. It's okay. And I guess overall, if I was to give it any rating, I would say 6.5. I think it's better or slightly better than Witcher Mercury in some areas. Um, and if you want more of a gritty war story in mechs, Gundam Thunderbolt there, the original Gundam is there. Gundam Iron Blooded Orphan is a good one. You know, if we're going down that route, if we're going into the whole child soldier thing. Then Gundam Age is one offhand, one I could think of offhand. It's it's okay. It's not bad, but it's okay. And if you want to watch it, go watch it. But if you don't like it, I don't blame you. There's a lot of reason not to like it, but there's also a lot of reason to kind of like it or think it's pretty good. It's not the best show ever. It's not like, oh yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 best Gundam. You know, this is I think this is actually the first time where we have an American company make Gundam. So it's they could have done so much better, but they can easily have made this work. And I believe this show is technically canon to the UC timeline, so what we got is at least decent, but it's pretty weak. And I think that's what I want to say. The show had a lot of weaknesses, even though I was coming into the show with almost no expectation, and I didn't even realize it even came out until like that Friday or that Thursday when people were talking about coming out. Kind of forgot about it for a while. I watched the trailer one time and it just like, all right, it's just made by Netflix. Hopefully, it isn't that bad, but it wasn't. But it was very weak. I don't really know as much as I can say. I guess the new type, I would have been fine if they didn't bring the new type in. They really shouldn't have. Also, they're I don't know. I think the show's supposed to be in the end of the UC. No, in the end of the 1 year war, and they don't know what a Gundam is. Like within the like the first episode, they see the Gundam and they don't know what that is. Now I could forgive if they said, "Oh yeah, it was nighttime. We couldn't see his mobile suit." But at that point of the show, where if you see a fast moving one-shotting Yurizaku type of machine going around, you know what that is. So it was like weird continuity issues that were very, very weird and very off. Just, I don't know. I feel like whatever script they originally wanted to do with this show, it was related to the UC timeline, but it felt like it wasn't. I don't know. Like I feel like if you swap out the mechs and make it more like our time, it probably would have fit better. But I'm not really sure, guys. If you want to watch this show, go for it. If you don't want to watch it, I don't blame you. There's a lot of things that could have gone without the show, and there's a lot of things the show could have done to be a lot better. But you never know. Maybe we'll get another series, mini series, and maybe we'll get more stuff. But only time will tell. In the end of the day, go watch it yourself. And if you don't, again, it's perfectly fine. But until then, you have a good one and be safe. Bye now. God bless.